from last meeting, which was back in November. Does anybody have any comments or additions that we need to talk about for that? Okay.
I read through them and I didn't see anything that jumped out at me as needing to be corrected. So it looked good.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to go ahead and approve of the minutes then for December.
I move that we approve the minutes from December. This is Janice.
This is David. I second it.
Okay, very good. So they've been approved and seconded. So I guess we got one or two people from the public listening in tonight. John, do we have any comments?
We do not have any comments at this time.
Okay. So, so the first thing I'd like to talk about is just maybe a little discussion on the Welcome to North Ogden sign. Thanking Janice for the banners. They look great. And now we need to move on from there to the Welcome to North Ogden, other ideas. And I've asked her to maybe take a few minutes and let her kind of explain what she's thinking and what has been done already. Janice, would you like to talk a little bit about that, what you're thinking?
Did you want to talk about the sign or just the other ideas?
The other things that we talked about maybe putting signs in the other stores and anything having to do with this. We haven't talked about it much, and since we got 3 new members, maybe you could just give a quick overview of what we're trying to achieve with all that.
Okay. All right. So to try and brand the city and kind of spread so that things all, go together within the city and feel more cohesive, we've got the Spend It in North Ogden banners. And then we talked about putting stickers in the businesses that are like as they pay their business license or something, somehow get them a sticker so that they can have one, like they support the Spend It in North Ogden, the idea to try and spend it local. And we talked about, I haven't gone back over my old notes. I spent time trying to work up a sign idea. So I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I should have taken more time to prepare.
No, you're fine, Janice. Mayor, have you got an idea on how we should go about getting these signs in the businesses? Originally, what I was thinking, it came to brought up that each of the committee members probably ought to pair up with a council person, and we could go to the businesses and just talk to them about what we as the EDC can do to help their business, and maybe do it then. But have you got any ideas on how the quickest way or the best way to get those to the store owners?
Well, Terry, I would say that my experience leads me to believe that we have to approach them in the regards of what's in it for them. And so I think we need to ask that question. Is that increased business? Why would they want to do that? Many of them don't live in North Ogden. So, and it's difficult sometimes with COVID to get people to meet personally, but I think we ought to ask ourselves the question as we approach them, how do we explain what's in it for them? And how can we increase their business? I think I've mentioned several times in discussions previously that cities have kind of participated, and I don't want to commit to that because we're just in the budget process, but how do we help them? Is it with some type of of a discount certificate that can be used at those who want to participate. Incremental business is profitable business to most businesses, so I'm all for the council helping, but I'd like to have a definition of how we go to them with what's in it for them. Most of you are business people here, so probably can answer that question.
Terry,
You
this is
bet.
David. If I could come in, about it was several months ago, I kind of approached you with an idea,
Yes.
but then everything kind of broke down. But one of the ideas I was thinking of having a citywide quote scavenger hunt for citizens to go to different businesses and to get quote a stamp or a mark or a sticker or a check, and kind of like a bingo also, that when they get these all filled out, they get something. And I don't know what that something is, but I mean, I would be willing to donate some certificates for, you know, the fastest person to get it done, the person who gets the most of those, things like that. And have it be on the city website where families could download it and just make it an activity. It's kind of along the line of I think it was the medallion for several years that was hidden in the city, and clues would be put up each week, or something along that line. Or when the citizens go to the business to quote get their stamp, then they get part of a clue, and they get all the different clues and they find something, or, you know, something to encourage people to go to the different businesses. One of the complaints that I've heard is people don't know that you're here. And if we can encourage people to go to the businesses, then that plants the seed that, hey, it's here, it's local. Let me go there instead of, you know, traveling somewhere else where I've used to go. Anyway, that was the idea. I was kind of wanting to bounce off you and to develop further. It wouldn't take much from the city, but having something changed on the website, and the businesses would get the benefit of having potential customers come to visit them. And if they don't have to do much but, you know, stamp a paper or give a clue, most businesses, I think, would be willing to do something along that line to get new people visiting.
Yeah, there's another idea too, David. I also sent out a thing to the mayor of what a couple other cities are doing about sending out some discounts, $10 off. Mayor, what did we decide on that, on maybe what we should do next to try to make that happen? Do you remember?
I think that, Terry, I thought I was sending you that information. I guess I'm getting old. But I think we were going to talk to John for two things, to see if there was any CARES money available that could be used for that. I think the citizens, the other cities had indicated they were using some CARES money because of the impact on their city. Unfortunately, our sales taxes are dramatically up this year, so I'm not sure we could justify CARES money. But we also talked about RDA money, what might be available. And I don't know if you ever had that discussion with John, or.
You know what? I have, and I apologize. It's been so weird over the winter. But that being said, can you talk about, Neil, kind of what we were thinking and what these other cities have done with this and how that works exactly?
I think we saw two cities, as I recall. One was Salt Lake City itself, downtown Salt Lake City, where they had businesses participate in giving discounts. And I think the city and the businesses participated together. I think the other one was South Jordan. Terry,
I believe that's correct.
And they basically were sending out something catchy to encourage people to shop in the city. And when those were redeemed, they were sent into the city, and the businesses were reimbursed a certain percentage. And I think the calculation on that was probably, what would it take to get increased sales tax dollars to pay for the program? But John would have to tell us if there's any access to RDA funds to do that. And I think, as I always believe, you want to help those who are willing to help themselves. So I would hope businesses would be willing to participate in the discount, whatever we decided that might be.
And what was working for Salt Lake, and of course, Salt Lake, like a lot of different cities, that their downtown district had really been hammered, kind of like Ogden's 25th Street. They sent out three $10 certificates redeemable at downtown businesses. And of course, what happens is it's pretty hard to get a meal for $10, especially if you're taking even your significant other. But if you got a family, they're spending $50, $60, $100 maybe, and they get a $10 off. And in that particular case, they were using the CARES money or RDA money to pay the business back for those coupons when they accepted them. So, John, we haven't really talked about that. Is this something you're aware of a little bit? And can you shed any light on that?
So, yeah, a little bit. The RDA money is not tied as strictly to infrastructure as CDA money is. And so there might be some of that available. We would need the council or the RDA board to approve those expenditures, but in general, they would probably fall in the category of, I'm trying to remember what the program called it, but it basically said the goal of the plan is to invigorate business, for lack of a better word. And so I think that we could probably qualify under those kind of miscellaneous type activities. But it'd probably be a good idea to get a real grasp on exactly what's being proposed, and then have Evan and myself just review it just to make sure that we're not inside or outside of the lines.
Okay, let me get back with you on that, John and Evan. I've got some of the information that was sent to me, and I believe, David, you may have sent me part of it, or Janice, I can't remember, but and then I got it someplace else too, but I'll get that to you. We'll see if we can get that going. But as a discussion for all of you involved here tonight, how do you feel about that? And how do you feel about David's idea about the scavenger hunt deal? And let's talk about that. What is it? How does everybody feel about that? I'd like to hear everybody's voice on that. Let's start with you, Brandon. What do you think? What little do you know? Because I didn't have this in the packet either. I apologize. But again, I'm kind of, I'm not real good at putting these committee things together, but hey, we'll get her done.
I kind of like the scavenger / bingo. I think it's something that can be done with kind of little effort. The other thing, I think if you throw in like hashtags and a social media component, that not only does it help people go to businesses like, okay, so if it was a bingo card, like I got an ice cream at this shop, or I got a particular drink at Fizz Drinks, or whatever it is, then you put it on social, right? And then it generates more activity, right? Like it generates not just traffic to that business, but it generates people talking about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Anybody else or everybody else? Let's hear from everybody on this. I want to hear what everybody thinks.
Hey, I was just going to say, if we end up utilizing any RDA funds for something like this, I think one thing we probably need to be aware of is just that some businesses have been negatively impacted by COVID, and others have been positively impacted. So there's a wide spectrum. So I think we need to be aware of that, and maybe make it targeted if at all possible to the businesses that we know are struggling. And it might be hard to find that out. People might be hesitant about opening up that information to us, but I just have some like high level suspicions of some of the businesses that in North Ogden that have struggled through COVID. And there's others that in my mind, I just say, oh, they've done pretty well.
Hey, JD, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I think that information is generally available. Weber County, which North Ogden participated in, we sent them $500,000 of the money received in the CARES Act, and that amount and slightly more were distributed to businesses in North Ogden who provided evidence that they were in need of the money. So there is a public list out there. I think I would just ask the question additionally is, what is the motivation for doing this? I think it's twofold. One is we want our businesses, all of our businesses, to be successful in North Ogden, correct?
Absolutely.
I think the second thing is we're in dire need of increasing sales tax dollars. We've didn't take long to come to the conclusion that property tax alone will not fund the city and the infrastructure. And when I use the term infrastructure, it's not hard assets. It's things like increasing police force with growth, increasing public works as we have to take care of the streets, and as a reminder, keep the snow off of it, as we've seen in the last day or two. And so I think it's two motivations. One is to get people to shop locally so we can increase our sales tax, and two, to your point, to help businesses be vibrant. So I don't know, maybe I'm off base on that, but I think a lot of businesses received PPP loans that were forgiven, and others received grants from the CARES Act. So hopefully we've tried to put our businesses on somewhat of a level playing ground. But that list is available out on Weber County's website, and I think we have a copy if you're interested in finding out what businesses may need a little extra jump.
Yeah, well, I'm open to, trying to help any businesses, and I think to your point, what you're trying to say is that all businesses will obviously benefit from increased revenue. So that's perfectly great. And if we did have a list that you're referring to, that would be a great targeted way to try to reach out to businesses proactively. And we can just suspect by them being on that list that they may have struggled at least at the beginning of the year, and just try to see where we can help.
John, do you have that list, or do I need to get that and send it to you?
I don't think I've got that.
Okay, remind me to get that list and I'll forward it to you. It's public list, so.
And JD, that was a real good point you brought up. Because probably the businesses have been affected more than anything are sit-down restaurants. If you try to go through McDonald's lately, or Arby's, or Beans and Brew, they got a long list of people. That business doesn't seem to be off on the drive-ups. But the sit-down restaurants are probably the ones that are most affected. And the problem is right now, with the COVID thing still being on the list, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people that want to go out and, I hate to use the word support, but actually go out eating as a family too. And we need to maybe somehow figure out what we could do there, because they're probably the ones that are most impacted, and the impact's probably still there. Although maybe I need to do some checking on that to find out when we get that list. Hey, welcome, Ryan. Looks like you're here. You're here now.
Yep, sorry about that. My last meeting ran late.
That's okay. Do you have any input on what we're talking about, Ryan?
I just caught the last end of it, and so I'm trying to catch up.
Okay, no big deal.
Hey, Ryan, was that meeting in Mexico?
I wish. 85 degrees is a lot better than snow.
Yeah. Okay, let me follow up then with John and Evan and find out what's available. And Janice, I'll also find out those stickers, how expensive, what are we talking about for those stickers? Oh, you're on mute. I think you're still on mute. Dang it.
Okay,
There
I
you
got
go.
my notes that I'd sent over to you do you want me to read to everybody what
Sure.
we've gone over?
Yeah,
Okay.
why don't you, if you don't mind?
Okay,
Denise, I will tell you that I did give you permissions. If you'd like to share your screen, you can definitely do that now.
oh, good. Okay, thank you. Okay, these were ideas that we got from Draper from their Economic Development Committee. And she got her ideas from the Harriman City. They used one-page coupons. They mailed out to each household, $10 coupons redeemable within the city at participating businesses. Harriman gave $30 coupons usable if you spend $20. So theirs was kind of like a buy one, get some also. The businesses opted in and provided their current W-9s to validate that they were an actual business within the city limits. They mailed them out with coupons that were mailed out. And it said out on the outside of the envelope that they were valuable coupons so that it didn't get thrown away by mistake along with the trash. They were directed to the city's website to see the current list of all the businesses that were currently within the city. This was the other thing that we talked about, is trying to make sure that people knew what businesses and what things you can get within the city, and trying to supply people with that. And we need to have a list somehow within the city's website. Then the other thing that Brittany said from Draper was businesses get a weekly email from their city, letting them know the current information from the city, which businesses were involved in this coupon and redeeming them. And then they set out a survey to everyone within the city to see what the interest was. And they'd started out with like 70 businesses that were interested and ended up with over 100 that are still doing it. And they're really working out really well for them, because Draper's not that large. So that's pretty comparable to us probably. They said after the survey was received, the city sent out a form to the businesses that had responded for their information. Then they updated it on their website. Then they sent out the coupons to everybody and told them where they could reimburse them, and kept that up to date on the website about where they could. They made sure they had at least one major grocery store involved, and they used Smith's, but I bet we could use both of ours. And they sent out the envelopes to the residents in bulk mail, which saved them some money. And the city has a PDF sorted by business name and one sorted by category on their website for residents to refer to, showing the businesses participating in the promotion. And at the end of the promotion, the businesses turn in their coupons they accepted and get reimbursed by the city. They used COVID funds for this. They mailed out over 17,000 envelopes and expect in theirs, they got back a 40 to 50% return on that, on their investment that they did. So that was the notes that I'd send over to you that I wasn't sure about earlier.
Did you send them to my email, Denise?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. I'll go over those, and I'll probably get back with you a little bit more on that, and also talk with the mayor and also John and Evan.
Okay.
And I'll follow up on that. Okay.
That would work with the bingo also. You know,
Okay.
using it that same idea, but using it as bingo cards. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that idea too, David. That was a good one. Okay. Any more discussion on this particular item? Okay. I'll follow up on that. And by the way, if any of you know a business or go into a business or have the opportunity to talk to a business about what we've been discussing, please let me know one way or another how that conversation went, so I can be apprised of it, so we can make sure, because it's so important. Yeah, we're doing everything you can to get new businesses in the city, but I really want to hear from the business we have, because they really need to be supported. So again, I appreciate all the involvement on that. Okay. So item number 4, I just want to give an update, and I can't talk about too much because I've been meeting with a couple different developers to find out what's going on with the whole block where O'Reilly's is. That is the Forsyths, Chris and Ryan, father and son, that are working on that. And they've got several letters of intent with, which means they want to come. There's 3 or 4 businesses that are pretty much there. Can't talk about it yet because they haven't signed a business license yet. And they've also got about 6 or 7 other businesses that are testing the waters. They're saying, okay, we may want to be involved. And a lot of that has to do with the Forsyths going out. They do all the Family Dollars, for instance, but they're also putting up Chick-fil-A's, lots of Beans and Brews all over the Montana, Wyoming, Utah. So they're out of Perry. Real nice people. I met with them last week, and there's a lot of good things. So we got a whole bunch of things going on. That block hopefully will start being built out within 60 to 90 days down there. So that's kind of a neat thing. There's also a couple other businesses that again one of them has been to address the city council, a Thai restaurant. So there's some good things happening. And I wish I could talk about some of the names of the businesses, but I can't yet because the developers have asked that until they get the more solid footing, we can't really talk about it. But at least there's things happening. And the things that I really want to see if we can do as the EDC is help build out that particular block between 2550 and 2600 from Washington down to 300 East. And also the North Ogden Plaza, which used to be called the King's Plaza, but can't be called King's anymore. King's isn't there, is it? We ought to call it the Janice shop, the Janice corner or whatever, since you've got your shirt shop down there, Janice. But that's got some action going on too that I'm going to follow up with the mayor and quite a few others on that one. So that's kind of what I hope that while we're in the next couple of years, we can get those 2 areas, and I'm just going to call that a block, North Ogden Plaza. That could really be something if we can get that going, if we can get some apartments or something going in there. And of course, just north of there, right at the boundary of Ogden and North Ogden, at about 1550 north, on the east side of Washington Boulevard, there's a little blue house. You probably still see it. They tore down the white one next door to it. Cooperstown's going to be going in between there and the theaters, a multi-housing area. And which brings me up to one of the other things, actually out of number 5, and that is we need to see if we can help figure out what kind of a sign. One of the things that Cooperstown developers want to do, and they want to sign "Welcome to North Ogden" right there, since that's right at the boundary. They have committed $2,500, and the city's going to match that. We may not be restricted to just that, but I want to have all of you, if you can, get on a website. Maybe I just pulled up Google welcome to city signs in around the area in Utah, and there's a ton of them. We just need to start getting some ideas on what you think might look good and what we ought to do. That's something that we ought to start working on. I wanted to bring that up tonight and see if we can get some ideas on some signs. So for next meeting, I want to see if we can get a report from what everybody's thinking about sign, the whole idea on that. Any comments on those things that we're talking about?
Yeah, this is David. I do know that several years ago, we had a sign design that was created. I'm not sure where that archive file is, but it was kind of patterned after the benches, which had the cement different mountain slope things.
Oh, John, do you know about that? Is that somewhere, or Evan, you're quite a research guy for, looks like Evan's maybe not with us. John, do you know anything about that?
I do. In fact, I can pull it up. Just a second. Sorry, I thought I had emailed this to you, Terry. I guess I didn't.
I mean, that would be a good starting point, and then we can always change and improve from there.
Well, I mean, I'm not very creative, but there's so many ways we could go with this. One of the signs Evan was showing, I talked with Evan the other day, and we were looking at some signs, and when you get on that site, the different welcome signs, Tokerville's got a really neat one. For some reason, it just sticks out. It's a metal sign, and it's just really nice looking. But we've got an idea of doing, some kind of a rock with maybe a metal sign on the rock. Engraving usually doesn't stand out. That is nice, and that's kind of our theme, isn't it, John? That we've used on some other things.
We have used it. I do know there are some folks who don't love this approach, and so at least I'd suggest that the group be open to other suggestions from people who might have different ideas.
Okay. Well, let's everybody think about this and maybe get outside the 9 dots and be creative, and let's see if we can come up with some good ideas. Of course, we're just kind of the thinking group, and then it all would be approved by the council. But let's see if we can get some ideas put together for this. And this would be really neat. I guess I envision a sign that people would actually go to and take a picture with their family or a group at our sign, something like that. So just do some thinking about that for next time.
Hey, Terry, as I look at this, and I could be totally off base, it's nice to say we're settled in 1851. But the original thought that goes into my mind is that doesn't mean we're very progressive. I'd like to see something that says North Ogden, a progressive city, or something of that nature. I know we're trying to balance out keeping the feel of North Ogden while experience fairly dramatic change. And the initial thing that comes into my mind, settled in 1851, it kind of brings the feeling of old fashioned.
Can we say
stable.
survive 2020?
We're not only going to survive, we're going to thrive.
Well, I talked to Janice for a minute today. I'm going to just give you throw out an idea that I've come up with, and I'm going to follow up on. And I got this idea actually from Chris Forsyth. They did a building, I forget, in some small city, and the building, they said, we want something that says this is who we are. And I got to thinking about that. I like the idea of maybe having a old tractor that's been refurbished as part of the sign. Picture a John Deere tractor, yellow and green. Welcome to North Ogden, because for a long time North Ogden was a farming city, and tractors are kind of a big thing. I'm going to try to push that a little bit and see what we can do on that. But that's there's some. How did you do that? That's it. Did you do that, John?
I did.
I was gonna say that's Janice.
Yeah, that's me.
You're so good.
So that was, I don't know about the tractor in front of it, but the other idea is a sign kind of like this one that says the City of Kentwood, but with the tractor like right in here.
Oh, I gotcha.
So then it's a welcome sign to North Ogden. I've got that kind of sketched up. I can show you. But put the tractor, instead of being a big tractor, if you want to include the tractor maybe in a portion of the sign.
That'd be a lot cheaper.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the Tokerville sign, but with North Ogden kind of superimposed. Is that the sign you were talking about that had the mountain over the top?
You are so clever. Yes, that's exactly the sign I was talking about.
Cut and paste. Okay, so this was the Tokerville sign. I just put North Ogden over the top of it. and then stuck the tractor in front. We need like a berm and some rock and things like that. But that was just, it's kind of like what you were talking about, I think.
Yeah. And thinking about that with the city of Kentwood sign, we could also incorporate maybe into there like a cluster of cherries.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that we're known for, of course. So anyway, there's some ideas. And you can see I once in a while come up with an idea, but Janice knows how to actually put it out there. So that way to go. Thank you, Janice, for doing that. Any thoughts on that stuff? Any questions or?
Hey, Terry, I don't know how feasible this would be, but this could be kind of a fun idea, is to come up with, 4 to 5 options and get feedback from our residents on which option they like the most. Because the thing is, there's going to be certain people that dislike having a tractor on there. There's going to be certain people that dislike having the cherries. There's going to be a wide variety of opinions. So if we could hone in on maybe 4 designs that we think are reasonable, and whether it's through social media or through our city bills and through our announcements saying we're looking for your feedback and go through this process to vote, that would be really cool.
I like that idea. That's a good idea. And my wife working at the city, she's in charge of the Facebook page. I'll talk to her about that. That might be a place to start. I don't do much social media or even know how it works really. I shouldn't say that because I guess I'm showing my age, but that's a good idea because a lot of people do use that. Jay, thank you for that. Any other ideas or discussion or comments about what we've talked about? Okay. I've got on here number 5 action items to align with the mission of who we are. And as I was reading through the mission, one of the things, the purpose of the committee is to make awareness of existing businesses. I was in talking to Janice today, and I found out that she does more than just shirts. She does mugs and all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to see what I can do to help spawn some business for her on that. And also, I've been a big forever loving going to Home Depot and Lowe's. And I've been recently going into Ace Hardware more, even though I keep thinking it's such a small store, they won't have probably what I'm looking for. But the other day we bought a new couch and it has recliners in it, and I needed to get a cord. And what I wanted a black extension cord so it would blend in and you wouldn't see it. I thought, where am I going to find a 3-prong? Because it all needed a ground. And I was going to go into Lowe's. And I thought, I'll just stop at Ace Hardware and see. They had exactly what I pictured I wanted. And every time I think that, I go in there, and that's a nice resource, and their prices they're pretty comparable, I think, to the big store. So I just wanted to share that because part of our purpose in this committee is to make people aware of the businesses we have, and also to help do everything we can to support it. But it saves me going extra miles down to the bigger stores, and we've got it right here. And it's kind of neat that I keep being surprised, and I don't know why I should be, but the store doesn't seem that big, but yet every time I've gone down there, they've had what I've wanted, exactly what I've wanted. So
Terry, have you been reading the signs that say shop in North Ogden?
What's that, Neil?
Have you been reading the signs as you go down Washington Boulevard about shopping in North Ogden?
Hence, that's what I'm doing. I keep looking for a steakhouse. We haven't got one of those yet, but I'm working on it. Okay, that's about everything that I had I wanted to go over tonight. We've got some little bit of homework to do for next meeting between figuring out these, if we're going to use some kind of a thing sent out to the people, the residents to use at businesses, and also thinking about a sign. And again, if you have any ideas in the meantime, just text me or call me. Either one. I'd prefer a call. I like to talk to people, and my big fat fingers kind of mess up when I try to text, but I would like input. I feel bad that we haven't gotten together for the last couple months, but with this COVID thing, it's kind of tough. And maybe I don't mean to use that as an excuse, but we need to get moving. There's a lot of things we need to do, and I'd love to get and see more business for both the existing business and new businesses coming to the city. So if nobody has any other comments, staff, anybody in the staff have any comments?
I have a question.
Okay.
Are we going to be able to put something on the website that shows what businesses we have and what services they offer, or what do we need to do that?
Maybe I'll have Lynn contact you, Janice, and maybe she could discuss that with you, because that's, again, out of my field of range to even know what to talk about. Is that okay? Okay.
Denise and Terry, I don't have the agenda in front of me, but I don't know if we have room for additional public comments. But I know a citizen made what I thought was a good suggestion, in addition to the website. So do we have public comments again?
Yeah, it's not on the agenda, but yeah, we could do public comments right now. You bet. Anyone?
I hope this citizen is on.
We don't have any public comment at this time.
Okay, well, I will make the public comment for the citizen. They suggested that we also publish it in the Connection magazine. I think we have some space that's guaranteed in there. But has anybody checked to see if anybody has their hand raised?
It looks like Stephanie Casey put her hand up. John, can you see that? Oh, maybe she's not here anymore.
Hold on, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are. Hi, Steph.
I'm trying to connect. Sorry. Hey, guys. I was just listening to you guys talk about ways to encourage, local businesses and such to, you were talking about stickers and things, and how to get them to participate. And I was just thinking, the North Ogden Connections magazine goes to every house every month. And if there was a space in there that we highlighted businesses that participated in the program, whatever you guys choose that to be, sign up for, to have the sticker, to have the flyers, whatever in their business. But if those were highlighted and there was a section in the North Ogden Connections that were highlighting participating local businesses, that might be an incentive for them as well to participate, as their, it would be not big advertising, but it would be advertising that would go to every home in the city. So that was just kind of my thought. I don't know how much space is guaranteed to the city in that magazine, but I imagine there's enough to do a call out, a little section that calls out local businesses, or even just highlights one a month.
That's a great idea, Stephanie. Would you mind calling Lynn and talking to her about that a little bit?
Yes. I don't like calling. I would love to call Lynn. I love talking to Lynn. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, if you do that, that'd be great. You could probably get across better what you're thinking to her, and she kind of, as you know, is kind of working on that area. So that'd be very much appreciated, Steph. Thank you.
Hey, John, what ability do we have in the Connection magazine, since we pay a pretty good chunk of change to them?
So the biggest hang up, and we'll need to just chat with them about this, is calling out specific businesses, since some of our local businesses pay to advertise and some don't. I'm confident there wouldn't be an issue if we were directing people to the CISI's business directory, and maybe talking about some of the features or services and things people can find in the city. I'm not sure that we'd be able to use a business logo, for example. But I'll have that conversation with them and have an answer for this group next time.
Came to our
Yeah,
meeting.
sorry, I see that I'm still on, so I'm just gonna hurry and pause. Sorry. I was thinking about that, John, and if it, like there's something to a bot advertisement that, is big and has a lot. So yeah, I think finding that balance, but a section that is specifically just for that that looks different, that looks like it's sponsored by North Ogden City and part of the city, separate of that business alone advertising on its own. So anyway, I'll stop now because I'm not part of the committee. You guys are doing great. Thanks.
Thank you, Steffi. Appreciate your comment.
Terry,
bye.
we have a second public comment from Brenda A.
Okay. Hi, Brenda.
Hi, do you need name and address and the whole thing?
No, we're not that formal here.
Okay, I agree that the magazine would be great, but as of February 16th, I have not received my February magazine yet. I would hope that it would also be on the website. I know you talked about Facebook, but please also do something on the website. There could be a page for local businesses or something. That's
Okay,
all.
so
Thank
did you
you.
say you haven't received your Connection magazine yet?
No, I have not. It's probably, I think one time in the last year have I received it within the first 5 days.
Oh, okay.
I have been, the 12th on, and I still do not have February's yet.
We just got ours yesterday, I believe. So I don't know how they do that, but appreciate that.
Well, my only concern with that is that if you run some type of a contest to find, the medallion, and you have to do it by the 10th or on the 10th, there's going to be a lot of us that are going to get that information too late.
Okay, that's a good thing to think about. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any other comments from anyone?
No other comments at this time, Terry.
Okay. Well, I think we've had a very progressive, good meeting tonight. I appreciate everybody getting together, and I'll get a hold of Bruce and find out if he's okay. He's one of the new members, and maybe we've got his address wrong or something. I'll check with Bruce, but appreciate everybody being involved. I'm excited. And I hate to say this, but I'm excited to have the COVID thing go away so we can get back to maybe what normal used to be. I hope we get to have a normal like that. I don't know if we're going to, but nevertheless, we're going to progress, and we're going to succeed with the vaccinations that are going to be being done here soon. And I think we're going to have a good year. And like the mayor said, there's a lot of businesses last year, and I've got some clients that, had banner years. The car business and a lot of other businesses that did real well. So I feel bad for some of the ones that didn't, and just encourage everyone, if we can, to support those. Well, if there's no other comments, I guess we'll just adjourn. John, do I need to do anything special in this committee for adjournment? I don't think I need to do what they do on the commission, do I?
We do typically like to just have a motion and have everybody say aye to adjourn.
Okay.
Do we have a next meeting set?
It's going to start going back to the third Tuesday of the month at 6:30.
Okay.
So yeah, that never changed, but yeah, that's when it's going to be. So it'll be set. It's just plan on the third Tuesday of every month.
Okay. I motion that we adjourn. This is Janice.
Very good. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any noes? Okay. Thank you all for your time tonight. It's great to see everyone and hear from everyone. For those that didn't want to show their cute little mug, David. But thank you again for your support. And let's go forward and do some good things. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
See you
Bye-bye.
later.
Thank you.